What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today we're going to discuss a topic that is an emotional topic, that is a hot topic, and honestly, it's a topic I didn't really want to touch on because it's very emotional to some people, and people have picked a belief, I guess you could say. But I'm going to do the video. Somebody asked me to do it. And I'm just going to give my honest opinion. And we're talking about the deportations, the ICE roundups, ICE activity. And let's just start from the beginning. Under the Biden administration, ICE was doing arrests. Just before Trump took office, we heard of a lot of activity in Bakersfield under the Biden administration, but there was also a lot of activity in the 805. ICE was in Santa Barbara, they were in Ventura, they were in LA, which is not the 805, but they were in Oxnard, and they were told, go out there and get some people. So under the Biden administration in September of last year, ICE was averaging 282 arrests per day. 282. And for a nation this big, that's not a big number, right? Okay. Under Trump, ICE officials have been told to aim for 1,200 to 1,500 arrests per day. That number seems big. But again, in a country as populated and as large as the United States, that's still not a big number. But it is an emotional scene when you see a hardworking man, a hardworking woman getting arrested out there in the fields or leaving the fields or wherever. That is a emotional scene. And it's, I believe, intentionally emotional. Because the new White House border czar, Tom Homan, says that initially the priority will be criminals and public safety and national security threats. And I usually never take notes, but I wanted to take some notes on this. So the priority is going to be criminals and those who are believed to be a national security threat. You know, under the last administration, supposedly, there's estimates that 15 million, think about that, 15 million people illegally crossed into the United States. Are every one of them a threat to America? Not a national threat, no. But are some of them? Absolutely. I agree that if you come across illegally, you are a criminal. I do, and this is why it's hard for me, because I know how many good people come across. Well, I don't know them personally, but I know so many people come across with no ill will, with no bad intentions, and they come and they work hard and they support the family that they had to leave behind. And we do make money. A lot of people say, well, they don't pay taxes. Your payroll is taxed. before you even get your check. You know that, I know that, we all know that. So I hate when I hear that, oh, they don't pay taxes. Yes, they do. It's taken off the top. So they are an asset. And the problem is how long it takes for people to get approved to come across legally. And I think that's what we need to work on. I think there needs to be some focus in that area, right? I also know that there are millions and millions of people annually who are allowed to cross legally, who get visas and whatever else there is. I'm not a scholar on this. But there are people who, millions of people annually that come across, and we know who they are, and we know where they're at, and we know where they work, because we know who they are, right? People say, how are you going to know where they work? Because we know who they are, and they're here legally. I think that we are all okay with people coming across legally because we know who they are. We've checked their background. We know they aren't a threat. And even then, there are American citizens who become a threat to America. So not everyone is 100% safe. But we do know that nearly 100 people were apprehended under the Biden administration who are on the terror list, who would have bad intentions. And I refuse to believe that we caught them all. It's just like all the dope that gets across the border. Some of it gets caught, but the majority doesn't. We have to assume the same when it comes to people on the terror list coming through. I don't have a problem, again, with criminals being rounded up. Is it unfortunate that, that some people's moms or dads who are over here working hard are being labeled criminals? It feels wrong. But by definition, they came over illegally. They broke a law. It's such a hot topic issue, hot button issue. There are other countries all over the world that have secure borders and they're not labeled racist by enforcing their border laws. But California has a history. The United States has a history. Texas has a history. All of us, we have a history where there has been a lot of racism. And unfortunately, everything, it seems like now in the media, it has to be based upon race. And why is that? Because when you talk about race, people respond emotionally. And if you can get people to respond emotionally, they're easier to control. As long as you can control the narrative. I know that raza, that Mexicans take pride in the fact that they don't cry about stuff. They stay quiet, they stay humble, and they work. They do whatever they do. But I feel like right now, there's a lot of raza that want to say other people are crybabies, but they're crying pretty damn loud themselves because they're allowing themselves to be played that only Mexicans are being targeted in these arrests. That isn't the case. That only brown people are being targeted. That's just not the case. In California and in the Southwest, we will see more raza being arrested because this is where they're concentrated. But in other parts of the country, They're targeting other people. In California, they are targeting other races, other ethnicities. In Texas, in Arizona, in other places, other people are being targeted. You know, I wish one of these media outlets would go into these detention centers, these INS detention centers, holding facilities, whatever you want to call them. I wish they would go in there and film. And then we would see some Europeans, we would see some Asians, we would see some Haitians, Africans, we would see a lot of raza, but we would see other ethnicities. And then maybe people would understand it's not targeted at one group. It's not surprising to me that there's going to be a focus right now on they're deporting Mexicans, they're targeting Mexicans, they're targeting Latinos. Because there was a big group of Latinos who voted for Trump. And see, now they want to show you, they want to tell you, hey, look at what you voted for, dummy. But I think those are the ones they're not going to turn, where they're not going to say, you know what, maybe I made a mistake. No, because those are the ones that understand it's not just raza, it's not just Latinos. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents, man. I hope that people don't get driven by their emotions. 15 million people, an estimated 15 million people entered our country illegally under the last administration. That should be very concerning. People could say, why? No, there was no terrorist attack. There's been a lot of crime, though. There has been a lot of crime. I'm going to be paying attention. I think everyone should pay attention to these 12 to 1,500 arrests per day. We don't want to do anything that hurts our nation and our citizenry. But the reality is, if you came illegally, there's a good chance you're going to be arrested. There's going to be some people that hear this video and you're going to be upset and you're going to say, well, man, my mom or my dad and this and that. Believe me, I understand. I get it. But if we have rules, if we have laws in this nation, aren't they in place to be enforced? If we decide to overlook certain laws, where does it stop? Where would that lead us? I think the majority of people want a secure border. Something's got to be figured out. But it's going to take time. In the meantime, there are a lot of people here, at least in the last 4 years, man, that came in such massive numbers that's the reason why this is happening. You know, when Trump was president the first time, he didn't deport as many people as Obama and the Obama-Biden administration. The Obama-Biden administration deported more people than any administration in the history of the United States. And I think people are overlooking the fact that Donald Trump didn't deport as many people as him his first time in office. You know why? Because Obama and Biden were deporting people, and he came in and he didn't inherit 15 million unknown, undocumented people coming into our nation. If we're going to look at things, we have to look at the whole picture. But that's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.